Happy Friday, everybody. Made it through another work week. Thanks for joining in for our White Flag Devotionals, and I would encourage you, continue with the reading tomorrow on Saturday, and do join with us for the live stream on Sunday. Really short passage today. We're following the same storyline, but today we're looking at John chapter 19, just two verses 16 and 17. It says, "Finally, Pilate handed Jesus over to them to be crucified. So the soldiers took charge of Jesus. Carrying his own cross, he went out to the place of the skull, which in Aramaic is called Golgotha." Guys, we're just continuing on in the story as we're leading toward the Passion Week. Jesus is now heading to his final great act of surrender that you know very well. And he's carrying his own cross to the hill outside of Jerusalem that is called Golgotha. It's the place of the skull. That's what the translation actually is. So think about this. He's carrying the instrument of his own death to the place of his death. Really grasp the picture here, guys, of what's going on. The God of the universe is willingly walking to his own death. And not only is he doing that, he's carrying the torture instrument that he's going to be nailed to that place. What a powerful act of surrender. You know, in the story of Abraham and Isaac, Isaac walked up the mountain with his father to be sacrificed, but here's the difference. He didn't know that he was the sacrifice. Here in this story, Jesus is going toward Golgotha. He's carrying his cross, but he knows that he is the sacrifice. He has full comprehension of what is going on. Furthermore, he knows that there is no backup plan for him. There will be no voice calling out to look for a ram who has his horns caught in the thicket. There will be no rescuing him from the cross. So this is a very powerful passage. This coming Sunday, we're going to look at the teachings of Jesus regarding surrender, and I hope that you'll join us. It's going to be very, very powerful. One of the verses that we're going to look at is this famous verse in John chapter 12, verse 24, where Jesus says, verily, I'm using the old King James, "Very truly, I tell you, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds." So guys, how are your seeds doing, first of all, that we dropped off on your porch a few weeks back? Are they growing? Are there little green heads poking through the soil? If you're seeing those little green shoots, I want to remind you, the only reason why you can see them is because death has taken place first. A seed has gone down into the ground and died. We actually know that the casing of the seed needs to die and disintegrate before that green shoot can pop up through. Death is the ultimate surrender. That's what we learn. God's built it into the whole universe, even into our biology. And every human being is going to get to the point of death. We know that this is true. We all let go of life eventually, but very few of us end up doing it willingly. Think about that. We all get to that point, but very few of us just kind of give in willingly. Think about this. Jesus is in the prime of his life, and he actually has the power to save, to preserve his own life. And yet he chooses to give his life willingly for us. He understands what his death will actually accomplish, and he's willing to make that sacrifice. You know, Jesus' death obviously accomplished some things that no other death in history could accomplish. Your death or my death could never accomplish this. You know, paying for the price of mankind's sin, providing salvation, providing atonement, all of these amazing things. You know, our death could never provide that, but Jesus' death did provide that. Jesus' death also sets a pattern for us as his children, especially when we consider the fact that he taught us to take up our cross and to follow him. There's a lesson that's being built into the entire story. Just as Jesus' life led to ultimate sacrifice by death, so does Jesus expect us, his followers, to lay down our lives for him every day. So guys, as you consider all of your options of things to do this weekend, it's Friday, that's what we do on Friday, right? What are we doing this weekend? Hiking, going to the mall, maybe visiting a restaurant with reduced capacity. Whatever it is you're thinking about, may I encourage you to consider a trip to Golgotha this weekend, to sprinkle in a little sacrifice and death to yourself through this weekend. Right, last Saturday, a couple dropped off some bread and apple fritters at my house. It's like, didn't they know that porch fires ended 3 weeks ago? Right? But they still are doing these good things, just doing nice stuff for people. They could have done anything they wanted last Saturday. But they came and said hi and they dropped off stuff. Right? A little bit of self-sacrifice. It's a small sacrifice, but here's the thing, guys. A life filled with these little sacrifices all of the time, every day, results in a whole life full of sacrifice offered to God. And it all begins with a heart of surrender.